following statement. Now think about this statement. If Jesus is in your boat, okay, you got a boat. We're all in a boat, right? Not in the same boat necessarily, but if Jesus is in your boat, whether he seems wide awake or sound asleep, you have nothing to fear. Jesus is in your boat, whether he seems wide awake or sound asleep, you have nothing to fear. So, what does that bring to your mind?
You wouldn't have anything to fear as far as safety, but wouldn't you fear doing something wrong?
Fear doing something wrong? Yeah. And by the way, Eddie, I do that. I do that a lot, but you know what? I think it's probably ridiculous to fear doing something wrong because you look at God and the way God reacts to people and treats people. You openly rebel against God, look out. But you're out there crying and praying and doing the best that you can and mess up. You know what God is? God is the loving Father who comes up to you and he puts his arm around you and he says, I love you, Bill, and just keep your cup over. I love you, Bill. And if you just, fortunately there's no coffee in that cup, right? I love you, Bill, and here, I'm with you. Let's do better. Let's get out here and do better. Kind of like, you know, I think he does kind of like the woman taken in adultery. Remember that she brought forth Jesus and he just scribbled in the sand. He wouldn't really answer their questions. He shamed them. And he looked up and he says, woman, where are your accusers? And she says, they're all gone. And so he says, neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. In other words, leave, but don't do that anymore. Don't live that kind of life anymore. You know. And I think he says that to us. Look, I love you. You made a mistake. I don't love you any less because you made a mistake. I don't think any less of you because you made a mistake. David was a man after God's own heart. Try to think of something he didn't do. No, he did about everything you can think of doing, but he was God's friend. So I do worry about that, Eddie. I do. But I think I'm wrong for worrying about disappointing God, letting God down, because God knows who I am, and God knows what my weaknesses are. God knows what my strengths are, and God knows my heart. And when what I do is in rebellion against him, I think he gives me a good swift kick where I deserve it. And I think that when, I just am human sometimes, I believe he puts his arm around me and says, look, I love you. I'm with you. I want to take care of you.